Tomorrow on BBC One Scotland, the life and times of Sammy Davis Jr., who battled against racism to become a world-famous singer, dancer and film star. That's at 10:35. And coming up in just a few minutes tonight, film comedy with Chevy Chase and Goldie Hawn, Foul Play.
I actually started singing when I was 13 professionally. I met the songwriters and there I was recording the song. I fell in love with the song, which was excellent. We will bring it home though, won't we?
Yeah, we'll bring it back.
I don't feel nervous. I just really want to get on there and show who I am.
For pop stars, this is where the going gets really rough. The Eurovision Song Contest, live from Copenhagen, Saturday at 8 on BBC One and Radio 2. You might even enjoy it.
Time for the weather view now on BBC One Scotland, and that comes from Darren Bett.
Hello, good evening. Well, temperatures today were as high as 18 Celsius in parts of Scotland, but it may well be turning a bit warmer as the week goes on. Maybe temperatures as high as 21 or 22 in many western areas come the end of the week. Compare that, though, with the stifling heat that's been building across many parts of India. 49 Celsius on Sunday afternoon, a new record, and that's equivalent to 120 degrees in Fahrenheit. And remember, that is a temperature in the shade. Similar sort of temperatures over the coming couple of days. 45 in Nagpur, 41 in Delhi. Of course, the heat building ahead of the southwest monsoon. And we're now starting to see some showers moving in towards the Bay of Bengal and up towards Calcutta. Now, as we move southwards in towards the southern hemisphere, of course, we're moving into winter now. And it's been quite chilly in Johannesburg. It's dry, but it's cold. And there was a touch of frost on Saturday night into Sunday morning. That frosty weather, though, isn't going to last too much longer. You can see it does warm up over the coming few nights as we start to draw in more of a northerly wind. Now, moving northwards in towards northernmost parts of Europe, and here we've got a southerly wind that's really brought some extreme temperatures. In Iceland, 18 Celsius on Sunday afternoon. That's a good deal warmer than many parts of the UK. Elsewhere across Europe, it's quite a mixed bag, really. 16 or 17 in Stockholm in the sunshine. That's comparable with Madrid. Quite a lot of cloud if you're heading to Frankfurt and to Paris. Showers never too far away, and probably some of the wettest weather over the coming few days will be around the Balkans towards the Black Sea. But probably by the middle of the week, it's probably going to turn quite wet across many parts of Iberia. At home, though, it's high pressure in charge. Best of the sunshine in the north. Not completely dry, though. Further south, these weather fronts every now and again probably bringing more cloud and some showers, especially around the middle parts of the week to southern areas. But otherwise, some warm sunshine, and many places will be dry, and probably turning warmer as well, remember, and so it shouldn't be quite as cold at night. It is, however, going to be quite chilly tonight. Not too much cloud around, really. Most of the cloud in the far north or in the southeast, so under those clearing skies, there'll be a widespread ground frost inland, and a local air frost too across northernmost parts of England and in towards Scotland. So to Bank Holiday Monday, and a chilly start, but really it's going to be a fine day with lots of sunshine around. And we may well see a little more cloud building up across these southern areas, but on the whole, I think more sunshine here than we saw during today. But quite a range of temperatures again along the North Sea coast with the wind coming in from off the North Sea. It's going to be rather chilly, disappointing temperatures here. Move further inland, the temperatures pick up, and around some of these western coasts, 16, 17, possibly 18 Celsius. Similar sort of temperatures on Tuesday. Thicker cloud in the far north of Scotland, maybe the odd pocket of drizzle too, and more cloud in the south here with some showers starting to move in. They're going to move their way across during Wednesday. Even some thicker cloud and some showers during Thursday, but otherwise most places will be dry. Goodbye.
You and Jack are the perfect couple.
Glasses.
With your nice house and your perfect kids.
We find if they're not in bed by 7, they get really
Tired.
shouted at.
From the creators of Men Behaving Badly, The Savages. Tuesday at 9 on BBC One.
Film comedy for the bank holiday weekend now on BBC One Scotland. Chevy Chase is not what he seems, but with Goldie Hawn, you know exactly where you are. Yeah, right.
A big sci-fi thriller tomorrow on BBC One based on Michael Crichton's bestseller. The Andromeda Strain is at 11:20.
George isn't just George, he's Thermo Man.
He's out of this world.
He's from another planet. Is he as other men?
A couple of things are a bit bigger, that's all. And out of his depth.
You make me ashamed of my sex. Ellen knows you try your best, Andy.
Ardlo Hanlon.
Am I doing anything? Well, no, not really. Lying here while Janet kisses my nipples.
My hero.
Viewers are in for a treat. Just think what they're going to see. And on primetime BBC One.
A new series starts May 14th on BBC One.
I've worked hard to get where I am. This used to be a pretty decent neighbourhood, but that all started to change when they moved in.
We've got two options. Number one, see what happens. Maybe they'll settle down and we won't get any trouble off them. Maybe.
You want to tell me to shut up? You better come down and do it in my face!
And what's the second option? We deal with it our way.
The Conans are coming. Residence starts Wednesday at 9 on BBC Two.
What happens?
Looks amazing. Home for the next 7 weeks.
When 17 ordinary people...
And all of a sudden he keeled over and he just kneeled on the floor.
...go back in time.
I did lose it completely.
2,500 years.
Don't sit there and say barefaced lies about her, all right?
You can't keep on going on about what happened 4 days ago. This is the present. We've got to go forward.
Could you cope? Surviving the Iron Age starts Thursday at 8:45 on BBC One.
Through the night now on BBC One with BBC News 24.
Britain's most famous fugitive, the train robber Ronnie Biggs, is heading back to England from Brazil after 35 years on the run. He left Rio de Janeiro in a jet chartered by a national newspaper. Biggs is 71 and has suffered several strokes. He's told the police he wants to come home and give himself up.
Ronnie Biggs' first attempt to escape the clutches of the media this afternoon was a complete failure. He and his entourage were pinned in their van, British diplomats among those crying out in vain. It was a complete fiasco. Nobody had realised, it seemed, the extent of Ronnie Biggs' celebrity here, and in the end the van containing Biggs, his son and representatives of the Sun newspaper was forced to flee, chased all the way. The waiting wheelchair was then taken away and Ronnie Biggs was allowed in through another entrance in private. So it seems Ronnie Biggs has given us all the slip. He's been taken in through another terminal and is already on his way to the aircraft. It was odd that security had been so poor. Ronnie Biggs was one of Rio's great tourist attractions. Even when these pictures were taken a couple of months ago, he presumably knew in his mind that the game was up, but he was still willing to put on a show. Back at the airport just a short time ago, we caught today's only glimpse of him, wearing red with a white hat, getting onto the plane and out of the limelight for the time being. Then Ronnie Biggs was in the air, his departure covered live on local TV. The man who robbed a large sum of money and evaded justice, treated oddly like a film star bidding goodbye. Justin Webb, BBC News, Rio de Janeiro.
This is BBC News, a reminder of the headlines. Pope John Paul has made history in the Syrian capital Damascus, becoming the first head of the Roman Catholic Church to visit a mosque. Fighting between Macedonian troops and ethnic Albanian rebels has intensified. And still to come, Fidel Castro flies to Algeria for trade talks. The Cuban leader met President Bouteflika at the start of a tour, which will also take him to Iran and Malaysia. In Nepal, a 5-year-old insurgency by Maoist rebels is threatening the government's stability. More than 1,600 people have been killed in what the Maoists call their People's War. The government has now decided to send the army to rebel-dominated areas. Our Nepal correspondent Daniel Lack has been to the Maoist stronghold of Rukum to gauge the level of support for the rebellion.
Armed with antique rifles, the Nepalese police are the ill-equipped front line against Maoist rebellion. Recent rebel successes have forced a rethink of government strategy. Now there's talk of calling in the army or retraining the police.
We have to protect the right of the people, the living, the life of the people, and the right of the people, and we have to protect democracy, and we have to protect the interest of the nation.
It doesn't take very long to trek to places outside of government control. There are no roads, just footpaths. The land is fertile, but rural poverty, born of isolation, runs deep. Along the way, it's clear that few, if any, of the local villagers have ever seen outsiders before.
And this is Maoist country, about 4 or 5 hours tough walking downstream from Musikot. Getting here is an eerily silent experience, uniquely for Nepal. You pass through villages where people hardly pay any attention to you. They're subdued. They don't ask you any questions about who you are.